Jeep Cherokee Trail. The whole air duct assembly for your air filter, you have to remove all that. But that's not that bad. This was probably the easiest part of the whole job. So you can access. It's so tight in there. So you can route the belt over your alternator, water pump, and there's a key right there. And you literally have to on the bottom. I just replaced hose clamps. Eventually, when you get to the part store, of course, from the factory, they all come with these little factory clamps that you can never get off. They break, so it'd be nice if they would put the spring clamps on, but I had to deal with these little factory junk ones. So, like I said, the inner fender is held on with these little. This is a plug. You plug the bottom part in. This top part comes out. You plug that in. That's what holds everything together. It's the only thing I could find with the 4 different part stores in my area. They all had the same Dorman universal nylon trim panel clips. Like I said, there's 2 black ones in there. I really don't care. I'll use the white ones. Like I said, they're pretty expensive with the dealer, and they don't have them in. You have to order them in. So when I get to that part, we'll see if these actually work. There's your part number. Yeah. Oh, the story gets worse. It gets way worse, but not for this, but for something else I had a company do for me about a year ago. Okay, so yeah, this is the really bad thing I had to deal with, unfortunately. I went to a local tire shop in my area about a year ago. I had 4 brand new tires installed on my vehicle. Every one of my lug nuts, and thank goodness that I didn't have a flat tire since getting these tires, they somehow ruined every lug nut that is on my vehicle. Okay, now they didn't look like this when they were done, but this little cap was so swollen that I couldn't even get a 19 millimeter socket. The factory tool would not go on these. I had to beat my socket on here and with a breaker bar to get these off. So basically $200 later, again, I went to one of my local part stores. This is a 1-piece lug bolt. It's not the 2-piece, so that'll never happen again. Like I said, thank goodness when me and William's out fishing, or I'm out by myself, I didn't get a flat tire and find this out on the side of the road. I mean, that's just ridiculous. I did contact the main headquarters of the company I did deal with after contacting the local store, and they pretty much told me, oh well. So hopefully I can get some repayment for fixing all these lug nuts. You know, that the professionals, this is my biggest gripe about taking anything to a professional to work on for you. This isn't the first thing with the automotive industry. Also the marine outboard industry, they will rip you off. They're just going to take your money. So that's, unfortunately, I've had quite a few experiences with both. So I'm changing these out today. Now at this point, I was so far into it, there was no getting out of not finishing the job. I did do a lot of search on the old YouTube, internet, and there was next to nothing for changing that specific year and model for a belt. Like I said, once you get to a certain point and you're into it, there's no AC. Comes around the AC, goes around, I believe, to your water pump, which then goes over to your alternator, which then comes back around, goes back up to the top pulley, which comes on around, back around your idler pull. And like I said, you have very little room to work here. One of the main reasons you have to take your passenger side tire and your inner fender splash guard cover, so you can access your tensioner right there. It is the half inch. You have to have the half inch ratchet to put it in there to loosen up your tensioner. So, fun stuff. Okay, you have 3 bolts here. Those are 8mm bolts. That's where I'm starting to put my inner fender well back together. You also have another piece, this piece, which slides behind this inner fender piece, and it'll meet up right here for one of the plugs. I'm getting ready to see how those aftermarket plugs are going to work, and I'll let you know how that goes. Well, there you go. We have the inner splash guard fender put back together. These are the plugs that came in the aftermarket kit. There's one there. I have one there. I broke 2. When you go to take these off, there's a special tool you can buy where I have a pry bar that splits. It works pretty well most of the time. So, yeah, the 2 black, I guess the plugs, holder plugs are in that kit, did work. I did install an original one back here. It doesn't look like it's quite seated, but it feels like it should work. So, we'll move on to the next thing. Okay, here we go. So it'll top up the antifreeze. It'll go down. It sucks it in. So here's your lower part of the airbox assembly. There's 2 pieces. You have a lower and you have an upper. Basically, you take your lower. You see it has these little black post pins. That's going to engage on that side, and right there. You have to bear with me. I'm trying to do this with one hand. past buying STP products with the air filters not wanting to fit. That one fits just fine. So for the 2016 Jeep Cherokee Trail 6-cylinder SA 90113, that'll be your part you want to use. And then you have the top lid, which I might have to set you down here. Pretty much. You have it. That will be the top portion of the air filler housing. They have these little screws which will go down in various locations down through there. Also, you have a hose running to it. You have these little plastic clips which goes around this part. You want to be careful that you don't break it. Right here. Very hard to see the serpentine belt. Might have to get back on the ground, take a look. I do have the remote start, so it's going to fire it up here and just make sure the belt stays on. Well, maybe it won't let you because the hood's open. See that from the bottom. Try to take a look here. Oh man, control for the shit. There you have it. It is on, it is running. It'll hopefully reseat itself. I see it's just a little bit off from the water pump from where it used to be. It's so hard to tell, but it's definitely on there. find this useful in the future while working on these Jeeps. Just remember, if you ever do, that specific